Hi, first grade friends. My name is Mrs. Seabrooks. Last year I went by Miss Smalls, but I was recently married in November, so this year I'll be going by Mrs. Seabrooks. And I am so excited to have you in my class this year. This is my third year teaching at Sweet Apple, and I'm very excited to start my third year with you in my class. Quickly, I want to go over a few of standards that we'll be learning this year. So the first subject that I would like to talk about is math. In math, we're going to be covering 6 units. Our first unit is titled Creating Routines and Using Data. And in this unit, we'll practice counting, reading, and writing numbers up to 120. We'll practice counting forward, counting backwards as well. In Unit 2, this is our base 10 number sense unit, where we will use our base 10 blocks to look at numbers going up to 120. Unit 3 covers operations and algebraic thinking. This is where we will do a lot of addition and subtraction up to 20. We will also use word problems. We will show different ways to solve word problems. In our Unit 4, that's when we talk about sorting and comparing numbers. This covers length, measurement, and time. So we'll be telling time to the hour and to the half hour. Unit 5 is place value. This is where we will represent 2-digit numbers with tens and ones. We will also compare numbers using those symbols greater than, less than, or equal to. And this is where you get to do some mental math. In Unit 6, we cover shapes and fractions. Our shapes would be our 2D shapes as well as our 3D shapes. And in fractions, some of the common terms we're going to be understanding and using are halves and fourths. In our English and Language Arts subject, we will be covering reading, writing, speaking, and listening, as well as some language skills. In our reading unit, we will be covering 4 basic units. The first unit is called Building Good Reading Habits, and this is super important that we all build good habits as readers to help us make the process of learning a little bit easier. So once we set the foundation of having great reading habits, everything else will just come to us very naturally and very easily, hopefully. Unit 2 talks about learning about the world. This is where we will use some of our nonfiction texts to gather facts and information. Unit 3, readers have big jobs to do. Yes, as a reader, you do have a big job to do, and I'm going to give you all the tools you need to have as a reader to get the job done. So no worries, I got your back. Unit 4 talks about meeting characters and learning lessons. In our writing units, our first unit is titled Small Moments. And I think this is one of my favorite units because in this unit, we get to write stories about ourselves and talk about ourselves personally and things that have happened to us. But in a small moment writing, we do that. We just write about a small moment, not the entire picture that happened, but one small part of it that happened. Unit 2 in our writing unit covers nonfiction and chapter books. Unit 3, we will talk about writing reviews. And a review is simply like if you went to a restaurant, you could write a review on your thoughts and opinions about that restaurant. Is it an awesome restaurant or you think it's not the best place to go? So that's what writing reviews can be about. Unit 4 talks about from scenes to series. This is another fun unit for students where you are an author and you get to create your own series of books, which is really awesome. And with our phonics and grammar, our phonics first, we will continue using Orton Gillingham, OG, and our phonics lessons will include the regular nouns, verbs, adjectives, things of that sort. In our science, we have an Earth and Space unit. That's where we get to talk about weather and seasons. Now, I think this is my favorite unit because there's a lot to look at and learn when you're talking about weather and seasons, especially how the seasons change from one season to the next. In physical science, we talk about light and sound, as well as magnets. Tons of fun when it comes to learning about magnets. In our life science unit, we will be learning about plants and animals. In social studies, we have a history portion. This is when we will learn about people that were important to us, such as Benjamin Franklin, Ruby Bridges, George Washington. So we really get to know these characters and what they've done to make our lives better at this point. In geography, we will be learning about the map and the globe, where we live, what continent we live on, what state we live in, what city we live in, very specific to us, and we will learn about continents and oceans. Lastly, in our economic unit, we will learn about wants and needs, or should I say needs and wants, as well as goods and services. Okay. So that's just a quick overview of some of the things that we're going to be learning this year. The next thing I want to talk to you about is during this virtual learning time, we need to have some virtual meeting expectations so that things are running smoothly and so that we're all in the position so that we can learn and engage equally. So I'm going to tell you a few things that we are asking from you during our virtual meeting times. The first thing is find a quiet place. That's very important for everyone. That's important for you so that you can focus and concentrate on what's happening through the computer. And it's important so that others that are on the same time that you're on, that they are not distracted by noises that you may have in the background. Number 2, be on time and prepared. Number 3, listen to the speaker. Number 4, raise your hand to speak. And for raising your hand to speak, we may physically raise our hand initially, but we will be working through Teams, and Teams has an awesome feature where there's just a little button you press to raise your hand. Number 5, stay on mute when you're not talking. That's very helpful. Number 6, keep food away from your device. Number 7, dress appropriately. Number 8, stay in one place. So that's really important as well, so that you are in one spot and focused and not roaming around the room. I think it's great to be in one central location. Do your best. Virtually or in the classroom, that is a great expectation, is for you to always do your best. And the last one is to keep your camera on and keep it focused on you. Okay. The next thing I want to tell you about is our virtual learning schedule. From 8:15 to 8:45 is our English language arts lesson block. This is when we'll have like our mini lessons before we break down into our smaller groups. From 8:45 to 10:15, this is our English and language arts daily practice. 10:15 to 10:45, one moment. That's incorrect, I'm sorry. 8:45 to 10:15 is our English language arts daily practice. And from 10:15 to 11:30, that's our break, or that's when you can have your lunch. 11:15 to 11:30 would be our math mini lesson. 11:30 to 12:15 would be our small group math lesson. 12:15 to 12:30, social studies or science. And 12:30 to 1:30 is support, Like if you need some one-on-one assistance, this could be your time for specials, or these are what I call my office hours. Okay? I know that was a lot of information. I hope it was helpful, but now I am going to show you what our classroom looks like, just to give you a quick idea of what our classroom looks like. So here is our word wall, and above the word wall, we have some phonics information. Here is one of our whiteboards where I have included our virtual schedule. And at the very top, you'll see hand signals. Like to help us in the classroom, instead of raising our hand for everything, we have signals that mean different things. Here is our calendar and our jobs, as well as some standards that we'll be using in the classroom. So calendar time is a job for one of our friends, so you will come over here to see what your job is. If it's for calendar, then you will help us out there. On this wall, these are some of the charts that we'll use in reading and language arts. Here, I'm going to go up first. Here's a sign that I want us all to remember and focus on. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. One of my favorite spots, our classroom library. So this is where you will get to come and find books on your level. You'll get to book shop every week. So that's our classroom library. Here is our number line that we use, different ways to represent numbers in this chart. Here are computers. Here's a bulletin board with more symbols that we use for math, and as well as writing and language arts. And this is the back of our classroom where we have our birthday chart, some more positive words. Here's our water fountain, bathroom. Here are writing goals. And last but not least, if I can picture it for you, here are some math strategies that we will use throughout the year. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you. Bye.